going to be covering the basics of tracking, and then we'll finish with a offer creation tutorial. For now that I have you all muted, if time permits, I will go ahead and open the chat panel and the questions panel for any questions that you may have about the presentation, about creating your first offer, or about tracking concepts. If you have any questions about the material that we cover that I am not able to answer during our presentation, please feel free to reach out to your account manager or sales representative if you should have questions about onboarding. And if you have technical support questions, you can reach out to our support team by emailing support@tune.com. We would be happy to help you. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and get started. So when we're talking about the basics of tracking and what tracking is, we kind of take it to that very macro level of the concept of tracking and what we're trying to accomplish. And what we're trying to accomplish, of course, is making sure that we record all the statistics behind the data that you're sending to your advertisers, or if you're your own advertiser, the data that you're hoping to collect about the clicks and conversions for your offers. We're talking about in-market research, A/B testing, and we're monitoring brand performance, including advertising awareness, product trial and usage, and then, of course, user attitudes about the brand versus your competition. So how tracking works within HasOffers is on a very basic level. The advertiser or the ad network, if they're the advertiser themselves, creates an offer based around a master tracking link. Now, if you're working with an advertiser or a mobile app company or a mobile advertisement company, you're going to receive a master tracking link from that advertiser to promote that product or service. And that advertiser master tracking link is going to allow you to be tracked in the advertiser system, but we want to make sure that we can also track your affiliates and your affiliate traffic in the HasOffers system. So what you would do is you, as the ad network, would create an offer within the HasOffers platform with that master tracking link. Once that offer is created, you can start generating tracking links for your affiliates, and then they can start promoting the offer on your behalf. The affiliate uses tracking links that you generate for them to create the offer in their third-party network, and then the circle is complete, where the advertiser is tracking the traffic you're sending to them, you're tracking the traffic the affiliate is sending to you, and you're able to see what kind of user information, user data is working the best for your specific offers. So there are a few stages of tracking. There are impressions, clicks, and conversions. Now, impressions aren't necessary. They are when a user views an advertorial, a creative, a web page that has an advertisement for an offer. So normally there will be a little snippet of code embedded on that web page that the user lands on and views, and that tracks an impression. Now, once the user reaches that page and sees a link to click to get to the actual offer, they click that link, and of course that constitutes a click. The user is directed to the advertisement or the offer and is able to interact with that offer at that time. Once they decide that they want to complete the offer, either by making a purchase, downloading an app, installing an app, etc., a conversion occurs. What happens then is a conversion request is fired to the HasOffers network. We replay information from the click and log that conversion on your reports. So again, we've got three stages: the impression, the click, and the conversion. So drilling down a little bit deeper into these concepts, when we're talking about impressions, again, they're used to track the first interaction with a potentially converting user, and normally that interaction is a view. Impressions are used to measure the performance of engagement, and that engagement is measured for banners or creative advertisements, views of those banners, etc. Impressions happen when users, again, view the advertisements for offers on affiliate advertising pages, your advertising pages, or whatever landing page you direct the users to that has creative files, that has something for them to view, a video, etc. We do track impressions every time a user loads the web page that has an impression pixel placed. And it's important to know that because sometimes there can be duplicate impressions. There can be users that are viewing impressions or creatives more than once, and there is no deduplication with impressions. Impressions are just a view. We're just tracking how many people, how many views you received on that creative file. Now we get into a little bit more of the meat and bones of tracking, and we're talking about clicks. And again, that's when a user engages with an actual offer by initiating a click. HasOffers measures clicks in two ways, gross and unique. And this is very important when working with your advertisers and affiliates, especially when diagnosing discrepancies. You want to make sure that you're both measuring your clicks in the same way. Gross clicks are the total sum of all clicks on that tracking link. So if a user clicks 5 times, you would have 4 gross clicks and 1 unique click. Unique clicks measure the first click for each individual visitor of that tracking link. So again, in the same scenario, if a user clicked 5 times, only one of those clicks would be unique because that would be the first click by that visitor. Now, within your HasOffers reports, you are able to separate unique clicks versus gross clicks, and you're also able to set those in your click tracking settings. And I'm going to break away for a quick second to show you that. So if I'm in my HasOffers network, I can go to Company, Customize Application, and once there, I can go to my tracking settings. Now, if you see at the top here, we have our click metric setting, and we can choose whether that's gross clicks or unique clicks. Again, this is going to determine whether to use the gross or unique click metric on your reports, but you're always going to be able to separate those with report options. So if I go into my daily report, I can expand my options section and decide to show gross and unique clicks and run my report. And then I would be able to determine how many gross, how many unique. So there's a little diagram about that shows the flow of the click. So a user clicks, whether that be on a pop-up, advertisement, ad. The link goes to our HasOffers ad servers. We store all the information behind that click. That could be the user's IP, the browser being used, geolocation, and other identifying information. We create a transaction ID. That's basically a click ID. So we take all the information that we record on click and we create an encrypted value that we can replay upon conversion that will bring forward all the information that we captured. So we store the click data in our ad servers in the form of a transaction ID. Once the conversion occurs, we query that transaction ID and replay the information on your reports. So again, we do record data points associated with each click, including but not limited to the offer ID, affiliate ID, the time of click, geolocation, device information if you're using mobile parameters or are an enterprise client using mobile parameters and your mobile data report. We record that information and generate a transaction ID, store that in our ad servers, and we use that transaction ID to tie the click to that conversion. And a lot of times when you're working with your advertisers, they want you to send them the click ID, the they have different names for these IDs. Anytime you see click ID, think of transaction ID. So when we're talking about conversions, of course, a conversion happens when a user actually follows through with the desired action of the offer. So that could be making a purchase, again, downloading and opening a mobile app, filling out a survey, registering, making a purchase for a product or a recurring purchase. In most situations, conversions are tracked using sessions that are initiated by click, which we discussed a little bit earlier. There are some situations where the click is not tied to the actual conversion. That's very basic tracking, and it's usually used when your advertiser has limited capabilities as far as how they're able to track information and replay that upon conversion. When the user completes that action, the advertiser, or if you are the advertiser, are going to send a conversion URL to the HasOffer system, either through a pixel or a postback request. And we're going to get into those two different types of tracking protocols here in a second. We then link the full click and conversion data together with that transaction ID generated from click and are able to replay that information on our reports. So we're going to take a look at some tracking concepts in detail now, such as the different protocols you can use when creating your offers and the best use case scenarios for those protocols. So with HasOffers and with most systems, there's three basic types of tracking. There's going to be your cookie and pixel-based tracking, your server postback tracking, and then your secure HTTPS tracking. Now, secure HTTPS tracking is mostly used with cookie and pixel-based tracking because with server postback, the advertiser is actually firing a conversion request from their ad server, and ad servers aren't required to be secure. So most of the time, your postback URLs are not required to be secure, whereas if you're using cookie or pixel-based tracking, those do sometimes need to be secure if the thank you page is secure. So with cookie and pixel-based tracking, it's actually usually the easiest setup because it just involves providing your advertiser a snippet of conversion code, or you, as the advertiser, placing a conversion code on the thank you page of the offer. It relies on the user's browser, and it does this by placing a cookie on click that's validated and matched up once the conversion cookie is read on that thank you page. Again, we put the conversion pixel on the thank you page of the offer so that when the user reaches that page, the cookie can be validated against the cookie in the browser, fire, and log a conversion in the HasOffer system. So there are a couple different types of cookie-based tracking. The first one is HTTP, HTTPS, iframe pixels. So this is the most commonly used and most robust type of tracking. It's JavaScript code. It allows you to use different types of protocols with your affiliates. So if your affiliate is not able to use iframe tracking and needs to use image or postback tracking, they can do so, and you can fire conversions to their systems with either of those protocols. Once we get into image, pixel, and server postback tracking, you'll see how that becomes a little bit limited. But with JavaScript and iframe tracking, it's very robust. Your affiliates are able to use any type of method to log conversions on their system, and we're able to record a lot more information to send to them with this type of tracking. Now, when we get into image pixel tracking, this is the original tracking option. It was created many years ago. It's very simple. It provides limited options, so affiliates are only able to use image pixels or postback to fire conversions to their third-party systems. And this is becoming less used as time goes on. Again, it's a very simple method of tracking. It is not JavaScript code, so it's not as robust. You don't have as many options, but still usable, still logs conversions, just less used as we're going on. Now, when it comes to secure pixel tracking, this is for both iframe and image pixel tracking, can be used interchangeably. It does require an SSL certificate for custom domains. And we do recommend that you create a custom domain for your HasOffers network. The GoToCloud domain is shared by all of our networks, and it has the potential of landing on blacklists much quicker and with more frequency than if you were to use your own custom domain. Now, with the gotocloud.org domain, we do have a built-in SSL, so you're able to use secure tracking with that domain regardless. If you do have a custom domain, you're going to want to get an SSL so that you can use HTTPS tracking. If you don't have an SSL associated with your custom tracking domain, it will default to that gotocloud.org domain, and you may have domain conflicts if you're trying to make sure that all your conversions are linked to your custom tracking domain. It's required when the thank you pages are secure. So if you're ever working with an HTTPS thank you page, you have to use HTTPS tracking. You can't fire an unsecure pixel from a secure page. Again, this is not necessary for server postback offers. Those are fired from the advertiser server, and an SSL certificate is not required, nor does the server request need to be secure. Another advantage to having a custom SSL is you get faster redirect speeds. Again, less chance of blacklisted domains, and you get a dedicated IP. So you're kind of separate from a lot of our other networks, and that increases your speed. If you do have any questions about the custom SSL, or if you'd like to talk to your sales representative about cost and making sure that you've got one associated with your custom domain, I definitely recommend you reach out to them. Recently, we have had a couple instances where the GoToCloud has been put on a blacklist. We've gotten it removed. But again, it's a very common thing because a lot of our customers use that domain. So when we get into post-back tracking, this is considered the most reliable and accurate way to track. It's called server-side tracking. There's a couple different methods to it. You can use server postback with transaction ID or server postback with affiliate ID. And what happens is you want to add macros to your offer URL in order to pass information to that advertiser landing page. And that information is going to be the transaction ID or the affiliate ID, depending on which offer protocol you pick. Now, server postback with transaction ID is, again, the most reliable method if you are working with mobile devices, mobile offers, mobile advertisers. You're going to want to use server postback with transaction ID because cookie-based tracking does not work well with mobile browsers. Mobile browsers don't handle cookies. They reject them. They clear them. It's very hard to get accurate tracking on mobile devices, mobile browsers, using cookie-based tracking. With server postback tracking, it is important to note that the advertiser is responsible for capturing and replaying any ID that we send them from the click and pass it back upon conversion. Normally, this is a pretty simple process. We just match up macros that the advertiser requires with our macros that send the information needed to log that conversion. So there's two different postback tracking types. There's server postback with transaction ID and server postback with affiliate ID. Now, I always recommend server postback with transaction ID. Again, most robust type, you're going to receive the most information back, and the click is actually tied to the conversion. It's a pretty standard method for tracking, especially again with those mobile offers, mobile app downloads, etc. We require the transaction ID macro to be included in the offer URL, so that can be sent to the advertiser landing page. Again, the advertiser then grabs that transaction ID or click ID, stores it in their ad servers, and sends it back upon conversion. Our ad server is able to keep track of all the values, sub-IDs, macros that the affiliate's using in the tracking link, and able to bring those back on your reports and pass them to the affiliate. And once again, I'm sorry to hammer this point, but it is the absolute best tracking method for mobile offers. The amount of discrepancies and the chance of discrepancies are radically limited by using this tracking type. Now with server postback with affiliate ID, it's almost comparable to image pixel tracking in that it's very basic. It does not tie the click to the conversion, so all you're really receiving is conversion information. It's very simple. It just requires the advertiser to capture the affiliate ID from the click, send it back upon conversion. So again, the click and conversion are not tied together, so we're not going to be able to capture some of the sub-IDs and send those back upon conversion to your affiliates. We're not going to be able to associate some of the sub-IDs from click to your conversions. This is not really recommended. It's here, again, for advertisers or for tracking systems that can only handle very basic requests and basic information capturing. It is not recommended for use with mobile offers like server postback with transaction IDs. Again, because of that mobile device information that you want to capture if you're an enterprise customer, that you want to see your reporting on, and you want to be able to see what's performing best, what devices are performing best, which app store is getting the most traffic, etc. So we talked a lot about tracking with your advertiser, setting the offer up, making sure that the advertiser has the correct code to fire you upon conversion, and those types of tracking and concepts. So I do like to take a moment and mention tracking with affiliates. I think it's important that we discuss what affiliates are able to do and what their responsibility is and how you track with them. So just like with your advertiser providing you a master tracking link that you're going to use to create your offer, build your offer around, and then provide links to your affiliates, you're going to provide your affiliate with a unique tracking link for each offer that you want them to advertise for you. Unfortunately, there are no global tracking links. There's no way to give an affiliate one tracking link for all of your offers. Affiliates have their own interface, so we have what's called the publisher interface that your affiliate is able to log into. They're able to grab their own tracking links, create tracking links with sub-IDs, download creative files, and view very basic reports. The reports that they view only show statistics for their traffic. They will not be able to see any other affiliate statistics, and they will only be able to see certain information that you allow. Affiliates are not able to modify offers in any way. They're not able to change payouts, revenue, tracking types, conversion URLs for your network, etc. They can provide you third-party conversion URLs so that they can log conversions in their systems, or they can add them themselves. You do have to approve them, so rest assured that nothing happens on the publisher interface that you would not have to approve, with the exception of viewing reports and grabbing basic tracking links. And I think it's really important to mention, and this goes for the advertiser side as well, that conversion URLs are only fired for approved conversions. So if your conversion comes in as pending, or if your conversion comes in as rejected from your advertiser, or your has offer system rejects the conversion, or if you have your has offer system to have all conversions come in as pending, it will not fire the third-party conversion URL until you actually approve that conversion. So your affiliates should never see more conversions than you are through their publisher interface in the has offer system. So a quick review on tracking with advertisers. They're going to provide you as the network, the ad network, with a default offer URL or master tracking link from the advertiser system. You in turn provide the advertiser with a conversion URL that can be fired to your has offer system to log conversions. You as the ad network are going to base your payout and revenue on what is received from the advertiser and what you want to send and pay to your affiliates. And then it's always, always, always important to note that the advertiser dictates the rules of the offer. And what I mean by that is that if the advertiser is only expecting or desiring traffic from one geolocation, only wants 50 conversions a day, or wants to put a cap on the offer, only wants to accept a specific subset of traffic, that is in their complete control. And you should always set up your offer as closely as you can to match the rules of the advertiser's offer. So that concludes our portion on tracking basics, tracking concepts. And we're going to go ahead and get started in an offer creation in just a second here. And what will happen is I'll show you how to create a very basic offer within my network. We'll take a look at some basic testing on an offer that I already have created, and hopefully provide you with a good basic understanding of the best way to create your offer and some of the settings that you're able to adjust. So the first thing that we want to do when we're creating our offer is information gathering. We want to know our offer and know the name of the product, of course, that's being offered. As descriptive as we possibly can be with our offer and our offer settings, the better. That way it's going to catch your affiliate eye. They're going to know exactly the details of the offer and the best way to promote it. So you do want to include a short description of that product, something that, again, is very clear and that the affiliate will know exactly what they're promoting. You want to make sure that you're working with your advertiser to know the offer expiration date, any parameters that they require, the revenue and payout amounts, and a good preview URL. And a preview URL is basically a link that will take the affiliate to the actual offer page so that they can see the end result that the user will see. We also want to know if there are any targeted countries. Again, offer caps. If there's more than one conversion point and we need to use offer goals, such as like a registration plus a sale. Any creative files that the advertiser wants us to use or that are approved from the advertiser. And when I say creative files, what I mean is pictures, flash banners, image banners, things that catch the user's eye, that they're able to click on, view, that gives them a good idea of what the offer is and will take them to the actual offer. Now, if you're an enterprise customer or if you're working with mobile devices, mobile offers, and mobile downloads, we also have the ability to add advanced targeting rules, which allows you to target specific devices, OS types, OS versions, browsers, etc. If you are working with mobile advertisers, mobile apps, or are a mobile app ad network, I strongly recommend upgrading to the enterprise version. I don't like to do too much upselling in the webinars, but there are so many features there that are very advantageous when it comes to the mobile market. So let's take a look at creating our offer. So I'm going to switch over to my test network now. And as you can see, I'm on my offer creation page. And how I got there was I went to offers, create offer. So it's going to take us to a very basic form. And what we're going to want to do is fill out each piece of information, of course. So starting from the top to the bottom, I'm going to decide what advertiser this offer belongs to. I'm going to give it a name. And a nice description. I'm going to go ahead and give a preview URL. That way, when the user clicks on a preview URL, they're taken to the web page, and they're able to see exactly what type of offer we have going. Once finished, I'm going to go ahead and add the actual master tracking link that the advertiser gave me. Now, notice my example here is very simple. It's not an actual tracking link. If you are working with an advertiser, most times you'll get a link that has a few different macros and IDs included that identify you as that advertiser's affiliate. Now, I'm going to create a server postback offer because I like to show that process. So as you see here, my offer URL has transaction ID equals transaction ID in curly brackets. And what this is going to do is it's, upon click, going to replace this transaction ID in the curly brackets with the actual transaction ID that's generated from the user information upon click. Now notice we get to pick from the different protocols I mentioned earlier. We've got our iframe, secure iframe, image and secure image, and then server postback with affiliate ID and transaction ID. So I pick server postback with transaction ID. I'm going to set my expiration date and decide that this is going to go until July 8th. Now, if you have offer categories set up in your network, you can select a category to associate this with. That way, when your affiliates are looking at their offers or offers by category, they'll be able to see this offer included. As we go down, I'm going to decide how much revenue my advertiser is paying me. And again, this should come from the advertiser themselves, as you want to make sure that you're creating accurate statistics and accurate payout and revenue amounts. Once I've set the revenue, I'm going to decide how much of that revenue I want to pay to my affiliates. So I want to give them half. And now upon every conversion, the system is going to record that I receive $5 in revenue, and I'm going to pay out $2.50 in payout to my affiliates. Now, if I decide to, if this is a multi-step offer, I can enable multiple goals, decide what the first goal name will be and what that action will be. And when I click Add Offer, a goal will be created, and I'll be able to add additional goals. Now again, goals are a term that we use for multi-step offers. An offer goal is considered a secondary, third, fourth conversion point. So if your main offer payout and action is a registration, but you also want to track sales should somebody reach a page and want to purchase a product, you can add that sale as an additional goal. It will create a separate conversion URL for that action to provide to your advertiser so that you're able to track two different actions within one offer. So I'm going to go ahead and expand my settings section, and this allows me to decide how I want my affiliates to see the offer and interact with the offer. I can make it private, so that way affiliates cannot see it, and I grant access to only those that I want to run the offer. I can set it to require approval, so affiliates can see it, but have to apply and I have to grant permission for them to grab tracking links and run the offer. I can add terms and conditions for the specific offer that the affiliate has to agree to, should there be any legal requirements that you need to enforce. I can decide whether I want my affiliate to see the advertiser of the offer, whether I want to add conversion caps or payout caps, so limit the amount of traffic that the affiliate can send or the amount of payout that they can receive. And I can include things such as email instructions or suppressions. As we go a little bit farther into the fine details of our tracking, I can decide if I'm using a custom domain or if I'm using our default go-to-cloud.org domain. I can decide if I want to set secure tracking links. So then now all my tracking links will be HTTPS rather than HTTP. This is not always needed, as long as the landing page URL that the advertiser provides you as the offer URL is secure. An unsecure tracking link will redirect and make it to a secure page. There are some situations where the tracking link needs to be secure, which is why we have this option. As I'm going further down my offer, I have the option to set redirects should I want to redirect traffic based off of certain criteria. If my offer's paused, if I've got a conversion cap and it's exceeded, but I still want to capture that traffic, I still want to make sure that it goes to a different offer, I can do that by setting a redirect offer or a secondary offer to make sure that that traffic is not lost. I can set our click session lifespan, and this is very important. So this is how long the click is going to stay valid and alive. If the click is expired and a conversion is fired, it will be rejected. So conversions are only accepted for click sessions that are still active. And this is a way that you can help limit your conversions and the clicks and the time that it takes between click and conversion. By default, this is set as 30 days. You can set it to any of these selections here, or set it to whatever custom value you'd like. We can decide if we want to use direct links. So this enables our affiliates to link directly to our offer URL up here, rather than using a tracking link. That's important should the advertiser not want redirects through a tracking link, should the affiliate not want their users to see a redirect through a tracking link. It does require a little bit of an extra setup as far as adding a snippet of code to the landing page in order to track the information. But it's a good method to avoid using tracking links and users seeing those tracking links. We can also use deep links. So if we've got a catalog page and multiple products within our catalog, such as purses, shoes, pants, shirts, we can allow our affiliates who may just want to advertise purses and have a blog about purses, and that's all they care about, and that's all the traffic is going to care about, and the users that view their blog. So we can use the deep links function to allow them to link directly to a purses page and still be tracked just like the offer was going to the main product page. I talked a little bit earlier about conversions only being fired for approved conversions. So firing third-party conversions only happens when the conversion comes in as approved or is approved by you. So you can set this option to make sure that you have complete control over the conversions coming into your network. They'll all come in as pending, and you can review each one and approve each one as you decide. You can allow multiple conversions on your offer. By default, the Has Offers system does not allow multiple conversions. It will reject a conversion that it finds as duplicate. We want to make sure that you're tracking unique information that you're tracking unique conversions, and that you're able to get paid out on all the traffic that you're sending to your advertiser. Most advertisers are not going to pay for duplicate conversions unless it's a sale type situation where that user is purchasing over and over. And the final couple settings that I'm going to take a look at or show you are your start session tracking. So by default, this is set to clicks. If you're looking for view through conversion tracking or tracking that starts on impression, you can set this to impression. And then when the user views that creative file and the impression pixel is fired, the session is started and the transaction ID is generated. As we go farther down, the last setting I want to mention is the offer whitelist. So this is great with server postback offers when you're working with advertisers and trying to prevent fraud. You can request a list of IPs from your advertiser, add those to the offer whitelist, and then we'll only accept conversions that come from those IPs. This way, again, we can prevent against fraud. We can ensure that the conversions are only being fired from your advertiser and anything else is rejected. So I'm going to go ahead and add my offer now, which is going to create the offer for me. So notice once I create my offer, it takes me to my offer tracking section. This is really important because this provides the URL that we want to give the advertiser in order to log conversions on our behalf. Now, you may have to adjust a little bit if your advertiser uses a different macro for the click or conversion ID. I have a class on Thursday of this week where we go over tracking links and conversion URLs and the best way to construct those, build those, and ensure information is being passed correctly. I strongly suggest joining that class as we go over this in detail, and I show you how to make sure that your conversion URLs are structured correctly. Now within this section, we're also able to add sub-IDs and sale amount should we decide to capture that information. Now again, any sub-ID, sale amount, or transaction ID included in the conversion URL is the responsibility of the advertiser to capture and pass back. So you do want to talk to your advertiser, make sure you're on the same page with them, and make sure that they're able to pass that information back. If you have to adjust your postback URL or your conversion URL in any way, it's important to note that these are not saved in the system. So if you have to adjust your transaction ID macro to say click ID in order to match up with your advertiser system, you're going to want to copy your conversion URL, place it in a separate area such as a notepad, adjust it, and keep it on hand so you know what your advertiser is using. We also provide a test link. That way you can give this to your advertiser or use it yourself, and it'll bypass any type of geo-targeting restrictions you have set on the offer. So if you're working with an offer in a geolocation that you can't proxy, you're not located in, this is a great way to bypass those restrictions and make it to the offer and test. It's very, very important to note this is only going to bypass the restrictions within your Has Offers network. It will not bypass any restrictions that your advertiser has set on the offer. The most important thing I can tell you about the conversion URL is to only provide that to your advertiser. Never give your conversion URL to your affiliates. You're just asking for fraud, and you're providing your affiliates a way to log conversions that are not accurate and not legitimate. So the conversion URL should always be kept safe and only provided to your advertiser. So when we're talking about testing our offer, and I'm going to go to a different offer now because it is important to note that when you create your offer, it does take about 20 minutes to propagate across all of our ad servers. And the way that we work is we have ad servers spread across the globe, each one with fail-safes and rollovers, so that way if one goes down or one region's tracking is affected, all that traffic and all the requests are rolled over to a different server, and that makes sure that tracking never goes down. And that way we capture all the events, whether those be clicks, impressions, or conversions. Caveat to that is that it can take some time for your offers to be saved on every single server and to propagate. So whenever you're creating an offer, I do recommend waiting about 20 minutes before testing, 20 minutes before generating any affiliate tracking links and using those. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at an offer I created. If you scroll down, you see we've got our generate tracking section where we can pick our affiliates and give them their specific tracking links. Again, the affiliate has their own publisher interface, so they can do this on their own, should they choose. If we have our offer set to require approval or private, we want to make sure that we approve any affiliates that we want to run the offer. So you notice I just blocked an affiliate so that way we can see the difference. We've got all of our approved affiliates and then our one blocked. So I can just highlight this affiliate, approve, and now I'm able to generate a tracking link for them. So I'm going to go ahead and test this. Now I'm going to test this a different way. Most times when you're testing tracking with an advertiser, like I said, you provide them the link, or you test it yourself by clicking on it and completing the offer. I'm going to do this a manual way by clicking on the tracking link, copying the transaction ID that's generated, and notice I'm taken to my Costco homepage. I take that transaction ID and I paste it into my notepad, hopefully. Okay, my apologies for the technical difficulties. There we go. Once I've grabbed my transaction ID, I'm able to grab my postback URL. Hopefully. Not sure why my copying is not working, and I apologize for that. Okay. What I do then is I remove the actual transaction ID word, and I make sure that my conversion URL references transaction ID equals, and then the transaction ID that I generated on my click. Once I've done that, I can take that full URL, copy it, and I should receive a success equals true. Now, if I want to go a little bit deeper and sometimes get more information, I can add debug and get more information about the specific conversion that was logged and any type of third-party postback that was fired as well. Now, again, most times if you're using your test link, there shouldn't be a third-party postback that's fired, but there are some occasions where you'll need to use a legitimate affiliate link in order to test and make sure conversions are being fired to that affiliate test system. Now, there are many ways to test. This is a very basic way that doesn't go through the advertiser's ad server. So if you're the advertiser yourself, if I take my test tracking link, put it in my browser, grab the transaction ID, and fire my conversion URL, it's not going to log a conversion in the advertiser system. It's only going to log a conversion in my system, my has offers. So the best way to test, again, give your advertiser this test link that's created with the offer, have them run through the offer themselves. That way the conversion is recorded on the advertiser system and mimics the firing of the conversion to you. And you can make sure that everything is set perfectly and that you're able to see exactly what will happen upon a real live conversion. Now, once I'm done with testing, I do want to give it a couple minutes, but then I can go to my reports and my conversion report. And you'll see my Costco online offer. Notice I've got the status message of employee test because I use my employee test link. We've got a payout and a revenue. We've got affiliate sub IDs, the transaction ID, and the conversion IP. Now, tomorrow I have a course that goes over reports and troubleshooting, where we dive pretty deep into each individual report and look at the different options that we can add, remove, and viewing your conversions, conversion data, etc. I strongly recommend joining that class because we do also go over troubleshooting reports, and it's a great way for you to get a good idea on how to handle discrepancies or issues that may arise with your advertiser reports, mobile data, etc. Now, if I drill down a little bit deeper into this conversion, you can see that we're recording a lot of information, such as the offer, advertiser, any type of advertiser manager, the status of the conversion, the affiliate information, and any sub IDs that the affiliate was using, our payout types and amounts, revenue types and amounts, and then information that we can capture from the click. So what time the click occurred, the time the conversion occurred, the IP from click, the IP from conversion, and where the tracking link was clicked from. All great information, especially if you drill deep down into your conversions and you're trying to make sure that you're getting the best results, A/B testing, etc. So that is our basics of offer tracking, tracking within the has offer system, and offer creation. Now, I do get some frequently asked questions, and if you have any questions, please feel free to use our chat panel or our question panel. As we do have a few minutes, so I would love to answer any specific questions you have. But I do get these a lot, and so I decided to just kind of take them out of the rotation and add them as a frequently asked question page. A lot of times, networks that I'm working with or that are viewing my training don't see some of the same settings that I have, such as advanced targeting or some payout and revenue groups, etc. I have, with my network, the enterprise version, so I have every feature available to me. And if you're on a pro account, you may not have some of those. Again, those could be payout and revenue groups, advanced targeting, the mobile parameters and mobile reports, and then two-way API. So if you're, again, working with mobile advertisers, if you want the ability to use API to pull data from your has offers network, to add data to your has offers network, to adjust offers rather than using the user interface, I strongly recommend reaching out to your sales representative and discussing that upgrade option. There are many features in the enterprise version that will help you be successful. So we talked a little bit about this, but I do get questions about setting up offers with multiple conversion points. And what I mean by that, again, is a registration, a sale, a subscription. What you would do is use offer goals. So if I switch over to my offer again, and I go into my offer, I can just take any offer. I can edit my affiliate payout section and then add goals. Again, I have to name my default goal. Once I do so, I can add an additional goal. And as you'll see, it becomes the same offer creation form where I can pick my advertiser, I can name my goal. I can do some of the same settings as far as making it active, setting it to private should I choose. I get to pick the specific protocol for that goal. And then I get to set different payouts. So if it's a sale goal, I can set it as a revenue per sale. I get 50% of the sale. My affiliate gets 25% of the sale. And once I add my goal, now I have 2 conversion points, where one is a registration and could be a cost per conversion or cost per action type, could be a cost per click. And I've got another goal that can record cost per sale. So then when I go and view my reports, I'm able to see the goals broken down, and I'm able to see the different types of sales, the different types of conversion points, what's performing better, the user flow, if they're following through with the entire offer life cycle, following each step, etc. And again, I really try to make sure that this is well known. The best type of tracking to use for mobile-based offers is server postback. You can eliminate discrepancies so quickly by using server postback tracking. Mobile browsers will block, they'll reject cookies. They have privacy functions that make cookie-based tracking just completely unreliable. So we want to make sure from the very start that you know if you're using mobile offers, working with mobile advertisers, that you do use server postback tracking. We also recommend using our attribution analytics platform if you're a mobile ad developer, mobile ad network, as we're able to use SDK tracking and make sure that the has offers and attribution analytics systems are in line and consistent. So that is my presentation today and our class on the basics of tracking and offer creation. Again, this is the first of a 3-part series. Tomorrow we're going to discuss reports and troubleshooting. Times are 6:30 a.m. Pacific and 12 p.m. Pacific. I strongly suggest joining. I would love to see you there, and I think it's some great information. If you have onboarding questions, you can contact your sales representative directly. If you have technical support questions, please feel free to contact us by email at support@toon.com or by phone if you're an enterprise customer, 206-508-1318. We're happy to help. We're always available. And we want to make sure that you don't feel alone and get the best use out of your has offers system. If you want to take a look at our self-service section, you can do so by going to https://help.toon.com. We have a very robust search function. You're able to search for any type of article or how-to that you're looking for, pull that up, and we have some great articles. And I also recommend taking a look at our Toon Academy, which is academy.toon.com. This allows you to become a qualified user, provides a badge that you can add to your LinkedIn, email, whatever type of social profile that you're working with, and allows you to go a little bit more in depth with some of the user functions, the functionality of has offers as a whole, some of the advertiser side, etc. So we are a little bit over, but I'm going to give about 2 minutes for questions should you have them. Unfortunately, there's too many people for me to unmute at this time, but please feel free to use the question box in your webinar control panel or the chat box, and I would be happy to answer them. So I'm going to mute myself for a moment. And again, if you have any